Yo guys, what is up? Welcome to TSO Crypto, your home for crypto TA. I am your host Martin, and today we're gonna be looking at Bitcoin. Where can it go, or where's Bitcoin going? Now, if you're catching this from live, welcome. If you're catching the replay and having suggestions, leave us a comment below. I really want to know what you're thinking. Also, if you want to be up to date with the latest crypto-related news and technicals, you know what to do. Hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub. Join us in the Discord, do whatever you want. But thank you all for being here, and thank you for joining us. Day of the Sage, as expected, retrace. Yes, we talked about that, remember? But thank you very much for being here. Hi, BL, how's it going? Andrew, first week back and already crushing TA. Yes, man, we're crushing the TAs. And in fact, with a dab, man. How's it going, guys? Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see what's happening, man. Man, the market is moving down, as we talked about, right? We're looking right now at total market cap, and our sending is bearish, right? That's what we've been saying for the dailies. Dailies have been bearish for a lot of projects. All right, so that's where we're at. Bearish for market cap here on Bitcoin. Now, let's see what's going on. Sorry, market cap in general. Let's see if there's anything else here that's developing. We're starting to get some hidden divergence. Just goes like that, right? From this low to that low. The only thing I don't like about hidden divergence, particularly hidden bullish, is that we don't know for sure when it's going to trigger, right? We're starting to develop it, but we don't know if it's going to trigger here, right? Or we don't know if it's going to trigger here, or we don't know if it's going to trigger here, or here, you know, or here. Whatever it is that we are, so long as we are high or lower than this value, right? And higher than this value here, but so long as we're still making more negative momentum. It's just a tricky thing to catch. So this is not the trading I like to do with hidden divergence. All I'm looking for is reasons for this to stagnate and maybe start to go like sideways, or maybe this movement to like to not go as strong, right? So instead of just going like that, right, with the divergence, what we could get is maybe something like this, you know, maybe not as that, but something like this, where we maybe here start to go sideways and then we drop and then we sideways, then we maybe something like that, right? Not looking for that super sharp move. Now, that's because we're starting to get some of that divergence coming in that tells us the buyers are trying to get continuation going. But again, that can still go anywhere around here, right? Again, we're not saying it's there. It just happens to be today. But again, we'll figure out how this keeps on going with this hidden divergence. I'm just going to leave this here so we know that we're not actually anchoring to a price, but saying, you know, we're looking for the price to go down. All right, let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, right? Where's the Bitcoin dominance at? Well, we haven't been looking at dominance because it's really not mattering too much. So we're just going to go straight on the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin is sitting at a chill 65,433, right? It's taking the dives. Y'all remember what we talked about this? Remember when we talked about this? We said the bearish divergence in the daily. We're at all-time highs. Yay! Woo! Remember all-time highs? We were all celebrating, but we said, "Watch out! There's bearishness in the daily. We might be moving down." And what's happening? We're moving down. Remember targets we talked about? We're hitting them. So we are on targets. Again, hitting right now. That's 64,900. We got very, very close to it on this candle. Lowest point, 64,800. And 83, so slightly lower than the target, but it's so minuscule that it's hard to see, man. Like, I mean, even if we zoom in a lot, it just looks as it's spot on hit there, right? So again, we are on target, we are moving down, we are trying to hold support at that key level. All right, now, you'll remember what I said, it was the last area that we wanted to drop to, right? It's 62,423. That is where we can find some semblance, I'm doing quotation marks, you can't see them, of support. And the reason for that is because it kind of held us a resistance here. But that's about it. Other than that, there's really no history. There's really not a lot of history at that level, even when we're back here, right? If you look at it, there's some chop, but nothing really confirming it as a resistance or support. And similar back here, right? So like that level, right, it didn't quite hold for anything. So that's a recent area that we're looking for as a potential support or resistance, right? So with that in mind, this might not hold. If we do drop below that 64,900, it could be bracing for a drop to the 54,230. There's really not a lot holding us there, except for that minor area of support, right? But right now we're trying to hold to that 64,900. Now Bitcoin, just like a market cap, he's starting to create that hidden divergence. Here I just don't have to go all the way back here because we do have this island break, and that just happens to go from here to here, right? Whatever it is that we're at right now. And we know what this is gonna do, right? Because we just drew it on market cap, and this is going like this, and this is going like this. So with all this going on, we're looking for that potential for action to the upside, maybe continuation, maybe the movement dying out, and I think that's part of the reason that we're holding here, because we had this divergence here on Friday, right after we closed, or Saturday, sorry, when we closed. We weren't here Saturday and Sunday, remember? But we did have this divergence. We're already expecting that move to go there, and we discussed it, and we went in depth on targets, right? So we called it, and yeah, that's one of the targets we're hitting. Now, we are hitting this hidden divergence, right? And it would have been to here, and part of the reason that this is holding at that level is because this hidden divergence is giving it something to hold on to, right? So we're still getting it right now. And again, we're still trying to see if we can manage to hold on to this against the MACD and the RSI for it to rally or get some semblance of maybe not get that massive drop, right? Get the bulls to get their act together, try to hold these levels. That's what we're looking at here. Now, before I drop onto the smaller timescales, I want to go to another chart that it's a little bit cleaner as far as Bitcoin goes for the charts that we usually look at. And part of the reason I want to do that is I want to fib this, right? I want to fib this. Garthik was saying Bank of Japan is having a pressure rate discussion right now. Currency markets are super volatile. Yeah. All right, so there's two ways we can fib it. All right, there's one that goes from down here all the way to up here, and then there's one that goes from here to here, right? So we're gonna go with this one first and see if it makes any sense as to what we're gonna be getting here. So from low to high, we're hitting that 236 when we're holding on to it beautifully. It's a spot on hit by the closing of the bodies, right? There we go, look. Low point there, high point there, spot on hit at 236, trying to hold, right? Remember, we did deep retrace and go for a 382. That's going to give us some semblance of support at 60,285. But Daw's theory, or Charles Dow, the creator of the Dow Jones, the Dow Index, says that we could dip to that 50%. Right, so we're looking at to drop to like 56,315. Right, that's what we could be aiming for. Retraces tend to go to that point before we see reversals again. So it would not be weird if we go there, and it kind of matches with the other target that we talked about, the 54,000, I think. So it's not too far from that. Wouldn't be weird if we see that drop going there. Now let's look at the smaller fib, right? So I'm just gonna move this one here off to the side, and again, just anchoring it to that higher portion there. We already know that this is holding on there, but I want to get something from here and see if this makes sense in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just gonna go from here to here and see where we're at. If this is the smaller fibs that we're using, right, then this will tell us that we are doing a retrace and hitting that 382, right? So we are getting to that golden mean ratio where we started to look for retraces to happen. So that would be a 382 all the way to the 618. So we could still, fairness, drop to that 618. That's putting us at 59,291. It's not as bad, as a drop to the 54, 55, but something like that before we rally. Not necessarily be extremely weird. So that will be a target for Bitcoin if we keep on moving down, right? On that smaller fib. But if we look at the larger fibs that we had, again, just from here, right, again, same anchoring points to here, right? We're looking at that spot on hit, and then we can still drop this level. I was looking here for any kind of let's see, what should I call this? Congruencies to some extent that we're getting coinciding data where maybe the fibs were lining up. They're not lining up, but like any of these targets would not be off, right, on a movement down. All right, so we talked fibs on a movement down. We talked where we could rest and why we could rest at those levels. All right, so we cover two of the potential movements that we got. But again, Bitcoin's still bearish on the daily. There's no denying that, and that's why it's still saying bearish at the bottom of the screen, because that's the sentiment for Bitcoin right now, and it's something that we've been talking about since last week, right? Since I came back live. And again, I'm just waiting for the chart to load. Here we go. We have the hidden bullish, and we're again trying to get this area to hold, and that would be a reason for me to say, okay, yes, we're bearish on the daily, but we're starting to get something there that might tell us that we might go neutral, right? Neutral, maybe try to hold this level flag, consolidate. You know, we talked about, you know, whether or not we were going to do distribution or, you know, just a pullback. We are getting some semblance of a pullback. Not the strongest pullback by any means, but healthy market movements. Remember, corrections are good. We need to get corrections when we go up. We already discussed that. Now, if we were to rally, right? If we were to rally, we have an area that we must get above, and that is the 69,000. As you can tell, after we drop below 69,000 on Saturday, right? After we drop below that level, all the moves have gotten quite close to it and rejected. So we got very, very close, right? Highest point, 68,842. Highest point, 68,914. So we're less than $100 away. We are just rejecting that zone. Now, what used to be a sort of support that we were holding on to and trying to not drop below has now become a resistance again. That's the all-time high. It's going to be another psychological resistance that we must break now on the movement up. It's a round number. It's going to be psychological. It's all-time high. We were not able to hold that level for a long period of time, okay? All right, so talking about Bitcoin in the daily, that's it. We already talked movements, where we could go down, where we could go up. What happens if we stay sideways, right? All right, so we've covered everything that could potentially happen here. And again, I already told you my sentiment on the market. So that covers that as well. All right, let's go to the 4-hour chart, right? So I already know what things could play off, right? If the smaller time scales give us better hints of a potential recovery, we could be looking for Bitcoin to start doing a little bit better, right? And once Bitcoin starts doing a little bit better, then things are going to get interesting. I'm waiting for this thing to load. There's still stuff here that is from the 1-hour chart. That stuff I forgot to anchor. And again, the charts are just going slow. So I'm just giving them time for them to load. But again, just waiting for this to load. There we go. So this is from the 1 hour. I'm just going to send it back there. And this is also from the 1 hour. I'm just going to send it back there, right? We had some bearishness. And I think we had bearishness. Anyways, that's what it looked like I drew there on the charts. This is from the 1 hour as well. All right, and once we get to the 1 hour, we're going to talk about those moves. But here, what do we have? Remember, we had the bearish divergence, and if you remember on the 4 hour, we said we were bearish, and we've been wearing as far as saying like we were doing some kind of like rise and wedge, right? And then some upsloping channel that we didn't want to break below, and we wanted to hold. So those were ideas that were discussed, and we were looking for this hidden divergence. But again, just like anytime we look for hidden divergence, and if you remember what we discussed, is that, you know, we still drop. We try to hold here, and we did, which we held, right? So for Friday, right, we kept on holding. And then Saturday, right, what happened Saturday, we started to drop, and I said if we rally, we must rally above the previous high here. Otherwise, that bearish divergence still takes hold and moves us farther down. Now, on this movement down, so a couple things are happening. If we look at the larger move, right, the move that comes from here, we'll just go from here to here. We're still creating that hidden divergence at that support level, right? That's 64,900. But this is still just dropping to here, right? This is just tracking. It just keeps going. Shorter, well, we didn't have anything to give us hope, was here on the MACD. But now we have something interesting happening on the MACD where we are starting to develop bullish divergence strong, right? And the strong bullish divergence is on this movement here. We just have it against the MACD. We don't have it against the RSI. Now, this tells us that we're looking for action to the upside. We are starting to get some action to the upside, right? But we are failing at the resistance, right? At the previous all-time high. Now, we must get above it again. Otherwise, we could be aiming for a movement farther down. Now, this is within the same island. Remember, we want to trace our divergences from one island, from one separation of red negative momentum to the next start of negative momentum. So if this manages to drop like somewhere here, maybe that line, right? And we start to make a little bit of this negative momentum here, right? Then we still be going from a high point to a lower point and still be targeting bullish divergence, but now from one point to the next. And that would potentially even have us do that here on the RSI, where we'll be going something like this, right? So again, it's just very, very dependent on where Bitcoin goes. And we are about to start doing negative momentum. If I make this larger, right, that is at negative right now. I was going to see it up here, right? It's going to say negative, but right now it's positive again. It's like 1.97. It was negative 0.4. But we are at that borderline where it looks as though we're trying to make that negative momentum, right? And once that happens, right, we start looking for the divergence. So this needs to drop to this level below the previous low. And then we can look for this to happen and create that divergence that's going to potentially lead us to more action to the upside, right? Again, so on the 4 hour, I'm still going to stay neutral. Part of the reason is I'm not sure if this divergence is going to be strong enough to play, because we're seeing that resistance still coming up ahead from the all-time high. Plus, we're still carrying the bearish divergence, remember, that we discussed in the daily and the 4 hour. So I'm a little bit iffy on the 4 hour chart, unless we confirm divergence developing here. If we confirm divergence developing on this small drop that we're trying to get, right, over the next couple of candles, the next 4 hour candles, then I would say that we're going bullish in the 4 hour, right? But unless that happens, I'm staying neutral, because I think the bearishness could still take over, right? I don't think it's done yet. So again, need to drop and close somewhere around the 64,900 for the bullish divergence to come in and take a hold. Now, we do have strong bullish here, just against the MACD, but if we get it against the RSI as well, so when we look at and match it against the RSI, I think it has a better chance of playing out with much strength, okay? All right, with that said, let's go to the 1 hour, because that's it for the 4. There's really nothing else we could talk about here. All right, so in the 1 hour, we had the divergence, right? We had the bearish divergence. Do you remember this? We had the hidden bearish, and I told you continuation. So we had the strong bullish, and I told you continuation could lead us farther down because we were looking for that movement, right? And that's what we're getting. We're getting the movement down. So, all right, we got it. It's done. Now what? What's next, right? Well, what's next is that we created bullish divergence. We just were not here on the weekend to talk about it. You know, but again, part of the stream is that you guys should know these things so you guys can keep on doing them when we're not live. All right. Here we're going sideways. We're anchored from back here. We're gonna see if this makes sense. Yeah, it's still about the same. It's just the same level. So it kind of works. All right. So I'm just gonna re-anchor that, make sure it looks a little bit better matched. And there we go. All right, then what happened afterwards? We had the bullishness. We were trying to rally. We were going all good, but then we hit resistance, right? Why did we break at the resistance and not break through? Right? Why are we struggling there? Guess what, guys? Guess what happens here? Right, look at that. Hidden divergence, right? Hidden bearish. Potential for, like, actually downside, maybe sideways motion, right? So we're getting that continuation to the movement down with slight sideways motion. So that's what we're getting, right? This is where this stuff is coming from. That's what we're failing to get above a certain target. Now, I'm not sure we're going to have it here. Here we definitely went higher, so that's fine. Right, for that move, we're coming up higher as well, as stated. Oh no, what did I do? I think I just switched charts by accident. Go back. Well, it's not letting me close this. So there we go. All right, it's just taking a little bit. It's going slow, you know. Trading views slow today. It's a slow day, but we're gonna keep on doing this. All right, let's see. Ooh, I forgot to do something last time I said on the stream. Let me take a note of this, because I've been getting these warnings popping up, and I've forgotten that I needed to up my stream rate, and that's probably why if it starts to get choppy on your ends and things of that nature, it might be weird. It tells me current bit rate is 2,680. I need to use bit rate of 68,000. So I'm just making a note. All right, cool. So I got my note. I'm going to do that after the stream because I cannot do it when I'm live. Let's keep looking at this, okay? All right, the corn. Where are we at? What are we doing? Right? Trying to hold. Again, at support. Beautiful. Right? Holding. Support. Great stuff. 1 hour chart. What are we talking about? We were talking about the divergences. All right, cool. So we're getting divergences. We're trying to get the rallies to come in. All right, we're having our bearishness here, and let's go this on the 1 hour only. I think this, were we drawing this here in the 1 hour? Yeah, we were drawing here this in the 1 hour. I just wanted to go in the 4. This one as well, right? Yep. We got to get rid of all the stuff that wants to go on the 4 hour. Otherwise, when we go back to the 4 hour, it's going to look all junky and messy and not going to look good, right? I want to have good charts. All right. So remember, bearishness, right? It's putting pressure on the price, getting potential for that moving down to come in. And I think this one I sent to the 4 by accident. I'm just going to draw it here again and keep it here. Or maybe I didn't have this one. I can't remember. But I know where I wanted to draw this because when we confirmed, when I zoomed in, we had this going on. Remember? Going from this low point to that higher point. So again, that divergence, right, being there, right, creating that hidden bearish action and downside, maybe sideways motion. We're getting that, right? Even on the smaller move and the smaller move here, right, we got that strong bearish divergence within the same island, right? We want to get it from one island to the next, but you know that works. And we're getting that motion down, and same thing is happening here, right? We're coming from a high point to a lower point. So again, bearish divergence, strong action, downside, and we're starting to get that movement down. We're not creating anything here that is bullish for us to offset the bearishness, and that's what we're struggling to get above the 69,000, right? We need to get above with something that's going to impulse us to the upside. Now we're going from a low point to a higher point. That's not helping us much. Negative momentum, less negative momentum, and a low point on the other side to a higher point. We don't have anything bullish to help us run. So on the 1 hour Bitcoin, I'm still going to say bearish. Unfortunately, I know we're trying to hold. We're hitting an area of support, and I don't think the bulls want to let it drop below 64,900. I don't care if we close there. It's going to create that bullish divergence on the 4 hour, and that could be the catalyst for something better to happen. By that point in time, we might also be developing some bullish divergence on the 1 hour, and then we're looking for that movement up, okay? So that's what I'm thinking for Bitcoin as far as Bitcoin goes. Let's go check out Ethereum. All right, so we're spending a lot of time on Bitcoin because a lot of the market just basically follows it. Now, when we look at Ethereum, I'm probably going to breeze through it because we already discussed a lot of the things that we're probably going to be looking for here as well. Okay. So let's go to Ethereum. I'm waiting for it to load and change to the daily chart. Again, it's taking a little bit, but it'll get there. All right. So there we go. Oh no, Ethereum, where art thou? Oh, how Ethereum has fallen. Oh my God, that's not good. 3,409. Wow, it just seems like we're going for the 3,324. I was really hoping that Ethereum was going to hold this level, right? And that level would be here, the 3,511. It's taking a slight drop. It's not the end of the world. It's just not the best. And again, we're starting to develop some bullish divergence, right? Hidden. But just like with market cap, because Bitcoin had it from the small area here to here. Now, no, Ethereum is just like market cap, right? It's from way back here. Now, when we're looking at this, we look at it and we say, well, you know, it could give some potential for action to the upside, right? Maybe continuation. But that continuation has to come with something else. Particularly us seeing a decrease in that motion. Holding this level here would be beautiful, the 3,300, and then start to see that U-turn. That would mean Bitcoin would very likely be at the 64,000 area that we were talking about, right? Trying to hold it. It'll be very similar zones. And then look for the movement up. Now, as far as Ethereum goes, I'm going to switch charts real quick. I just want to bring in fibs and see where we're at. If we were to fib it, like we did for Bitcoin, right? So, oh man, this chart is busy. Let's go to another one. Why do we have busy charts left over? All right, so we're gonna use this one. I think this one's kind of empty-ish. Might do the trick. Oh no, it has information, but it's not as bad as the other one. Very old information. So where is Ethereum at, right? From low to high, it's dropping and hitting very close to that 382. Remember, drops could go as far as the 618. I don't want to see it there, man. I really, really personally don't want to see Ethereum go there. But it could before it starts to rallying back up, right? That is if Bitcoin also goes for that 618. Now, if we go farther down like we did with Bitcoin, and hit these lower points to a higher area, right? We are hitting a slightly below the 236. That could lead us to where we drop and actually hit that 382. That puts it at 30,000. That's right, 3,000. I don't want to see it go to 3,000, man. Shit. I really don't want to see it go there. Personal interest. Thinking about selling some Ethereum, right? Maybe. I'm not sure. Don't like it where it's at. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. All right, so Ethereum already know where we could go. We already talked targets, downside, right? And explain why we could be going to the zones, considering market conditions. Let's go check out like the 4-hour. All right, 4-hour chart. Come on, load up. By the way, how was you guys' weekend? Let me know in the chat. If your weekend was awesome, type 1. If your weekend was not awesome, type 2. But also let me know that it was not awesome, and that would be like, oh man, that sucks. No, but let's see what we're doing here. We're going from a high point, or a low point here, right? We're considering the low point here to the high point, or somewhere around there where I think we're anchoring, trying to figure out where we could go. We're coming back down to this low. Maybe this fibs are from the 1 hour. I'm not sure where we fibbed them, but I'm just going to get rid of them. Last thing we're looking at is this thing here being from somewhere else. Sophia says number 1. All right, awesome. All right, where are we at? Bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence strong. And again, we talked about this potentially for like a movement down. And we said, Ethereum was bearish on the 4 hour. And we were looking for the hidden bullish to come in and hold. It kind of held it here briefly. And now we're still dropping. But the thing is, you remember how I told you this is a trickier move for us to measure? We can still drop here and we still have it. Guess what? That's still going on there. And just like with Bitcoin, we are getting the same movement here, right? That same exact move, where we are starting to create this bullish divergence here against the MACD. But unlike Bitcoin, here we also have it against the RSI. Jules Glamore, what's up? And Andrew, short AF, bro. Wow. Huh. Spoiling the 4-day work week, trying to get back to normal. Awesome, bro. All right, so we have this divergence, right? We have this movement here, sorry, from here to here. Same thing as just from here to here. All right, one island to the next, don't matter. All right, so long as it's one island to the next. And here, we are anchoring from the highest point on this island. It's all one island, negative momentum, right? Doesn't matter if I go from here to here. It's the same. It's negative momentum to less negative momentum. And this can still get to this level, and we can still have that divergence because we always use the highest point, right, on the island. So with that being said, all right, so we have the bearish divergence, the bullish divergence strong for potential movement to the upside. Now, the thing here, and what I was telling you, is we can still get the drop to this here level, right? Your zone, the 3,324, right? That will put Bitcoin around the 64,000. Remember, we said we could go to that area, create also bullish divergence, and then look for that bounce. So if Bitcoin does that, Ethereum is very likely going to be on track for still holding this bullish divergence. This would just happen to be a little bit different. This would just be maybe somewhere around here, and this might be somewhere around here still, right? It's going to depend when it gets there, right? But if we look at this for the bullish divergence, that would tell us that we're looking for action to the upside. Now, that would start to get rid of this bearishness, because strong bearish, guess what? Now strong bullish. So we're starting to look for that shift in trend. Remember, shift in trends? Let's do that upwards motion, or change in trend direction, basically. All right. Let's see this. Then we have Ethereum on the 1 hour. What do we have? We had the hidden divergence. Remember, we had the bullish pop, created the bearish, right? That's where we're at. And then we're dropping from there. And like Bitcoin, we're struggling to get above a resistance, and that would be here, right? The 3,000, like what is it, 3,642. Now, I'm going to draw a line. I'm not going to confirm anything yet. I just want to make sure I have that line there before I start looking down here for stuff. And let's see this one. Yep, there we go. All right, so we have also, just like with Bitcoin, the hidden bearish on the 1 hour. So on the 4 hour for Ethereum, I'm feeling a little bit more bullish. Okay, so talk about the 4 hour, not the 1 hour. I'm feeling a little bit bullish because we're starting to develop that divergence. However, the 1 hour is not confirming it, right? The 1 hour is just saying maybe we still drop a little bit. But if you remember what I said, we can still drop to that level, right? The 3,300 and change, right down here. We can still drop to that level and then have that bullish divergence come and pick us up. That's going to be good, right? So that's one thing. All right, another thing that's happening here. So that's saying up to here. Now, when we look at this move here, right, this starts to change the tune a little bit for what could be a potential move, right? This is telling us that there is strong bullish divergence, right, for potential movement up against the RSI, and that's good. Now, the thing is, do we have it against the MACD? And the MACD says, yes, sir, we also have it. Look at that. Beautiful. Right. So we have that movement, right? Even in the shorter term here, right, from this smaller area, we're also getting it. and here as well, right? So there's bullish divergence at play. And with that in mind, I'm feeling bullish in the 1 hour. Right? Now that we finished going through the analysis, now it makes me feel a little bit bullish. Right? Because remember that we might still see the 3,324 and still be holding to this divergence for us to get that moving up. Okay? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I already discussed that. So 4 hour bullish, 1 hour bullish, daily still bearish, right? So daily was still bearish, I think so. Yeah, well, I think, did I say something bullish on the daily? I can't remember. If we had something bullish, hidden bullish. So we had hidden bullish, and that could lead us to where we started rally, right? And start to get some of that plateauing, maybe upwards motion in the daily, right? That's what we could be going for in Ethereum. So yes, I'm starting to feel a little bit more bullish towards the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Daily, we can still go sideways. You know, we still have the strong bearish. We haven't created any strong bullish on the daily for us to say daily is going to go up. But the shorter moves could lead us to where we see a small spike on the price of Ethereum, right? That is if Bitcoin also spikes. If Bitcoin keeps tanking, the market's going to tank with it, all right? Just remember that. All right, Jake came over to me on Discord and asked me to look at a project. Gonna bring it up real quick. It's this one. It's called Coco. And I just want to see what it is because I have no idea what it is. He sent me some information regarding that project. And it just is a meme coin. Okay, that looks really weird for a website. Okay, and then it was a little, hey, created Coco on Ethereum. They have since removed themselves and exited from all their, okay, Dex tools was created, okay, blah, blah, blah. Don't have any original stake. Okay, so the creator doesn't have any stake on the project. Liquidity is provided by the developers. Uniswap V2, okay, can finance. A lot of years, 100 years. What? Rendered, okay. Blah, blah, blah. And supply of the token is, wow, 420 trillion. That's a lot. Has been sent to the burn address. Okay, so 3.62% has been sent to the burnt address. That's on October 23rd. They should update this to today. It would be nice if they have it something that automatically updates this and tells you how much has been burned. We're gonna go back to Bitcoin. Just bear with me for a second. I just want to see what this is. At the time of writing, almost 4% of the remaining supply is in the Uniswap V2 pool. Okay. All right, whatever. That's good. Not necessarily bad, right? The token has been distributed to about 365 holders. Okay, that's like about a year. Interesting number that they picked there. All right, let's see what's going on here with this project. This is the 1 hour, by the way. Let's go on the daily. What is this doing, man? All right, we also got to bring indicators up because we have no indicators. So let's get the MACD and let's get the RSI. All right. The RSI is shot, so it's not going to do us any good. MACD might help us. It's not looking the best. All right, so this thing just went parabolic. It just blew up. That's basically what this happened to us, right? Music's loud. I think it is. Let me bring it down. For some reason, like something got reset with my audio, and I didn't notice. But thank you for letting me know, man. I appreciate it. I just turned it down a bit. Should be much better. But thank you, Andrew. All right. What are we doing here, man? Jake, bro, what is this project, man? What is this project you're sending me? This is going insanely weird. All right, so it's dropping, and if we go here and zoom out, we're retracing. And I use, by the way, somewhere around here as the low. By the way, this point here or this point here. We're retracing to the 786. That's not good. That is a deep retrace, man. We should be looking for something like this to happen once we hit that zone, right? Or we are kind of like there, but, you know, we say, oh, guess what? I just want to choose a brush tool. There we go. Oh, we should be looking for a moving up. But I don't have a lot of history in the project. We're going to see what else this is doing, man. How long has this project been here? Okay, so it's been here for some time, I guess. All right, this started trading on July 2023. Okay, so it's not super young. All right, let's see what's here. It started, then went below opening price. It stayed there for a while. We get some spikes. Start to climb slowly until it finally shoot up for some reason. I'm not sure why this project is shooting up, right? So I'm trying to determine why the smaller project is going insane. That's it on the daily, though. There's really not a lot to go on its time scale. Now, let's go to smaller. Let's go to the, 1 hour. Can we do the 4? We're going to do the 4 first. All right, so fifth still hold. Here we can see that we dropped slightly below that 100%. Then we're like bouncing a little bit. So let's get rid of those. See if there's anything here that helps us understand what's going on here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So they're saying that he wants to go into LQ. All right. Thoughts on a chart where it looks like it's dead. And it's still thriving as a needed utility on Cardano. Well, just by going with that information, Andrew, my assessment would be that if it's like dirt cheap, just buy whatever you don't mind losing, right? If you're gonna buy yourself a Starbucks instead of buying like yourself, like, you know, the next 4, 5, 6 Starbucks, put it into a project. If it pops off, you're making some good money. If it doesn't, hey, you just lost 4 cups of coffee. You can always buy as it starts to go up. If it ever starts to take off, but, you know, just put something that you don't mind losing, because very likely a dead project, it's more likely to remain dead-ish, particularly if there's no developments going on or there's news coming on. If you can talk to the the development team, you might have a better chance of understanding what the project is trying to do and what they're trying to achieve, and that might give you a better idea as to where the project might go. But if you don't have access to anyone in the development team, I would just say just put something that is super small, nothing that you're going to regret losing, okay? That's it. That's my thoughts on that one. Now, this one, Jake, bro, look, there's nothing bearish here. It just started to tank for some reason. It's probably because it went parabolic. That's the only thing I can think about it. Now, as far as something good, you're starting to create some hidden divergence, bullish, right? That move goes from here to here. And it goes from here to here, right? I'm not going to do anything with the RSI because it was highly, highly overbought. It was almost at 100%. So no point in checking it out. But, you know, this move is the bullish divergence hidden that could potentially have you hold this level, and probably what's trying to get it to hold this level. And unfortunately, there's really not a lot of information to go as to whether or not we're going to get a bounce or not. So let's go to the 1 hour. 1 hour chart. All right. 1 hour chart is creating something that I like to see. Right, and I hate to see at the same time for this kind of projects. I like it because it's creating bullishness, and it's telling us that there should be a shift in trend. I don't like it because when it's such small projects where they can be easily moved by someone just coming in and dropping, like, you know, a couple thousand, this thing's probably going to spike. I don't like it because then this bullish divergence could just mean that it's nothing, right? We're getting strong bullish divergence. We're not getting the movement. Strong bullish, we got a small bump. Come back down, small, strong bullish, get a small bump, and then just stagnating. So we're not getting the push behind the project. That means that people are not buying into it. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that, you know, it could be an easily moved project. So someone just coming in, dropping a couple thousand is going to make this pop. And it could be interpreted as, you know, oh man, the project's going to take off. It could re-spark a new run. But it could also be believed to be, you know, like a rug pull. Unfortunately, there's a lot of rug pull histories going on in crypto, and one of those projects is, like, you know, it could be that they're trying to raise up the price to cash out before, you know, it tanks. So it might not be a welcome move. I think what really throws me off is the fact that we saw a huge spike, and I cannot see why, as far as technicals are concerned. Even if I go here, right, it would make sense to see that maybe there was some bullish divergence strong here, but not for a spike that goes from, like, you know, however many 100% we're going, because, like, this is going to be an insane amount. It's not even telling me the percents it's going up. That's just freaking weird. Because it's worth so little. That's not even measuring it. I really wish it was telling me percentages. Let me see if I can do something here. All right, so that works. Ha! Beat you to it. All right, so we were here, which was the, you know, negative percentage points, I guess. This was like the 0 line for percents. Yeah. So it's telling us the 0 line is when it opened. So it finally got, you know, and we could track that and you know, see that if we were on the daily. But we finally got above it, and we hit, like, well, that's a lot of percentage points, bro. That wick was really high. The wick for this project is not letting me auto adjust. So is it going to let me move here? It's not letting me move on the project. You just went all the way up here, man. I just want to get like a sense for this. Like 3,521%. That's a lot, right? So just like that bullish divergence is not for that kind of rally that this is getting. It's not bad. Then like you would go from here, right? That's 374. We're going all the way up here. It's like 1,000. So like remove like the 300. It's like, you know, it's gonna be less obviously because this is measuring here at 0, and I wish I could shift that 0 up to here so I could get an accurate percentage move. But you know, I was gonna say it's like a 300% move or something, maybe 400, because we're not at the low, so it's not gonna be as much, right? But it's still good gains. And then here is just less, right? So it's just diminishing. Again, weird out by the project, the fact that it just run without a reason to begin with, right? So now I just shifted that. Where's it taking the 0 to? Is it taking? It should be taking it to the lowest value. So if I manage to bring that to here, oh, there we go. All right. So that'll be the closing here, the opening. All right, and so if this is a 0 line and just go here, if we go to that wick, and I was eyeballing it. So that's about 345% just by eyeballing it. The body closing is around 229. So that was still good gains, right? And don't get me wrong, I would be happy taking 300% in a day. And then if we just come here, all right, there we go. And that's taking us from here to here, and that gets us to like 38% right now. So if you would have bought in the last candle, you would be making 38%. I'm not sure how liquid this is because there's not a lot of liquidity. Yes, there was some volume here. It says 41% up. Okay, that's good. But I'm trying to see how much liquidity got, and there's really not a lot. There seems to be some trading going on. It's like 10.95K, and here's like 1K. So I'm not sure if it was like $10,000 that came into this project. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see. It's one of those phenomenon projects that, you see it and you're like, what the hell's going on here, right? So look, this candle here was 800, and this other candle here was 73 on top of that 800. So that's how we got to that 3,000, right? All right, cool. With that said, let's go 1 hour. Let's switch this back to regular. I just want to see pricing. And then let's see the, let's go 30 minute, I guess. See what's going on there. Again, same stuff, right? Dropping lower. Bullish divergence is still there, telling us that we should be getting action to the upside. We're just not getting it. I'm not sure if there's a lot of volume behind this project, man. Whatever this spike was, I can't relate it to the technicals. There must have been something else. When I see this stuff happening and I cannot place it to technicals and I don't know enough about the project to see if it was, maybe there's news, maybe it got listed. There has to be a catalyst for that. The first thought that comes to my mind is there's something off, right? We've just seen a lot of people getting burned on projects. I'm not saying it's a bad project by any means. I'm not dissing on it. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with it. For me, it's just weird to see it pump without anything. So if there's anyone here from this project, the Coco holders, and y'all want to input some information as to why this project is moving, do let me know, because I'm intrigued as to why it got such a massive rally, but it's failing to keep that momentum, right? Okay, obviously we get exhaustion, but we're not holding anywhere near here. It's just like a massive rally and then a massive drop to get another massive rally with another massive drop. And we see this story over and over again with a lot of projects, right? So please let me know why that's happening, right? If anyone knows any of that, please bring it to my attention. I would be highly intrigued. It looks like an interesting project. I definitely would want to get into it if I would understand a little bit more about it and what it's trying to do. Now, Shiv, remember, I told you Shiv's looking like a good setup. I'm still holding on to that. Shiv's looking like a good setup to get in. I just wanted to come back and revisit because Shiv's looking interesting. I'm waiting for it to load. I can't remember if we drew stuff here on the daily or not. All I remember talking about was like, a flag formation forming here as far as the channel goes. And he's saying, yo, look, this here, right? It's looking interesting. Right, like that. And we're still on that channel, right? Yo, Joseph, what's up, dude? Thank you very much for being here, man. Much appreciated. All right, so Shiv still flagging. I'm still saying it looks like a good setup, mainly because there's some hidden bullish. But again, it just went parabolic. If Bitcoin allows it to, I think Shiv could be setting out for another run because we know that anything that is downsloping consolidation like this is getting, it's bound to get more action to the upside. That's what I'm expecting to see here. a rally happening here on SHIB, and that one like that. So, you know, we're looking for movement up. So on SHIB, I'm saying bullish, right? That is my SHIB outlook. I'm still holding bullish in SHIB. And I'm thinking this areas might be good to get in. So just FYI. All right, let's see what's happening with ADA real quick. Because Andrew's here, and I know Andrew loves the ADA. So ADA had some bearish divergence. We talked about that, getting that moving down. We also talked about the hidden bullish that was going to start to develop. Guess what? It's still developing. It's sitting at wow, it's dropping below. ADA needs and hold 64 cents. Otherwise, we're in that range where things get really slippery for ADA, right? It gets really slippery. How slippery? Well, you know, like 40 cents slippery. We don't want to be floating here in this zone. You know, this zone here. Where's my drawing tool? Here we go. We want to be here in this zone. This is a twilight zone. This is a zone of no return. This is a zone where we can slip and go to 40 cents really, really fast. There's not a lot of history. So a drop, right, as far as resistance and support, there's not a lot of history. So a drop would be not good. Look, when we broke it, we just shot up through it. Then we kind of dropped into it and we recovered, but went back to that area. So that's a strong area of resistance that should have held the support, and it held briefly, but we're breaking it. That drop is not going to be good, man. All right, so watch out. ADA is in a potential for a movement down, particularly if Bitcoin plays to the downside still. We can see ADA dropping a little bit more. Now let's fib it. All right, let's fib this one. There we go. All right, so ADA, look at that. Beautiful. We're bouncing at a key area, the 50% retrace, right? Again, I'm just going from body to body. I'm not trying to make anything match or anything like that. So again, body here at top, body here at the bottom. Look at that. Beautiful. Hitting that 50% retrace. Dallas theory, right? We were retraced 50%. Then we look for turnaround. But we know by fibbing that we also look for the golden mean ratio. And that will put us to where we go from here to the 618, right? So we could still be dropping here to the 58 cent mark before we look for some recovery. It's just not a good area for us to be on. That's all I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure that if we go back here and we apply fibs to whatever this run was, we're going to see similar things happening where we're holding at some key areas. So I'm going to use the low there to the high here. And look at that. We retraced to the 618, dropping slightly below it before we actually start to get that next movement up. So it would not be weird for us to drop to the 618. That's why I was mentioning it, right? The 618 before we started looking for some retrace to happen. And let's see if we're doing anything else. We have that hidden bullish, man. Is ADA really doing anything else? We're going to be ADA centric today. Let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour ADA, right? We were looking for retraces. We had the bearish divergence. We were seeing where we could go. We started to go lower, right? We went to the 382. Bounced back up, hit that 618, right? Look at that, beautiful. Fibs holding. Held support there at the 236. Finally dropped below that zero line. Try to go back up, hit that 382, and now we're crashing below that zone. So these fibs are done. We no longer can go by these fibs because we're already breaking them 100% to the downside, right? So we're fibs for moving up. Now we're looking for fibs for moving down. And to get fibs for moving down, we anchor from here to here, right? Low point, high point, low to high, where we at, again, and if we zoom in, we're going to see how much better this looks now, right? Look, we're starting to drop, hitting that 336, dropping to 382, try to hold there, bounce, rejection of 382 is where we drop, 618, right? Try to bounce, hitting the 382, dropping back down again, breaking the 786, right? Trying to get above it, rejecting the 618, and back to the zero line. That's it, dropping below there. We'd have to look for a larger move for us to fib it, and it'll probably be from like down here to like the highest point, so from low to high, and see how that goes. But again, ADA could be looking for a movement up because it has bullish divergence, right? So not all is lost. Not all is lost for ADA. Bullish divergence strong, potential for a movement up, right? Yeah. Seems like a lot of crypto has been changing their tune towards ADA. Interesting, yeah. I think so, man. Let's see ADA. All right, bullish. Action to the upside. We haven't gotten it. That's what we're expecting to get, though, right? Let's go to the 1-hour chart. All right, so we had the hidden bullish. Obviously didn't manage to manifest because the rest of crypto was also having the similar story. Here we didn't have the hidden bearish. It's just Bitcoin and Ethereum and the larger projects were dropping. So obviously this project is following suit. We're not seeing it do its own thing. Now, things I like and things I don't like. First, bullish divergence strong to a key area, right? We're getting support right at the 64-cent mark. Look at that, beautiful. Closing right on it with bullish divergence strong action to the upside. Guess what? We're not really getting the strong move. Not good, right? Now we're dropping more. Guess what? From here to here, strong bullish. Are we going to get the move, though? That's the question. We have it against the MACD. We have it against the RSI. There's no reason why we shouldn't get it, except Bitcoin failing to play ball, right? And like we said, Bitcoin on the 1 hour could still drop to create that bullish divergence. Sorry, on the 4 hour that we were looking for, in the 4 hour, the bullish divergence to still develop, right? The strong bullish. We can still be waiting for that to happen. If that happens, this is going to drop a little bit more, and it's probably going to be negating this divergence. Might hold it depending on how it drops, right? If we just keep on, dropping slower with Bitcoin, we could still be coming like, maybe here and still stay below this line. As long as we stay below this line and below going oversold here at 26, we're still going to have that divergence for us to be able to try to run up from, right? So that's my Ethereum. Just saying here that it looks bullish on the 1 hour, right? That's it. All right, let's go back to Bitcoin. All right, where are we at with this? Man, come on, load up. All right, so Bitcoin trying to hold the 64,900. We did manage to drop on this 1 hour as well. So since we opened this candle like 30 minutes ago, we managed to go down and try to go back up as discussed, right? We're looking for the move. We had the bearishness here moving down. Bitcoin on the 4 hour, we're looking for the bullishness to develop. Remember, we said we need to get a close somewhere here for us to create this bullish divergence to still go. Now, don't get me wrong, if we fail to drop below this previous low and close below this previous low, we still have this bullish divergence to try to run. I'm just expecting to see that move because then we confirm 64,900 as a strong support for us to be able to hold and then look for that bounce and use it as like a trampoline for it to bounce back up from there, right? Yeah. Joseph says, I've been invested in Binance, VET, and ADA since the bear market, looking at taking a position on either Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, obviously. But are there any other coins you would suggest looking at during this dip? To be 100% honest with you, man, I haven't really been keeping up with the markets. I took about a year break. It was like 10 months of not looking at crypto. I just haven't looked at the markets at all. I just only looked at what we've been looking at here. So I have not been on top of what's moving or what could move. Also have not been looking at what's turning the better profit right now or anything of those things. I'm slowly getting back into it. I just started last week again. I just got really burned out badly from just doing this every day for the last 3 years. And I just needed a break. I needed a break. So we're in here for the 4th year. So we started this on 2019, and we just needed to get some of that off. And I wouldn't be able to tell you any other project. I mean, I think SHIB's looking like a good setup, to be honest. I've already discussed it a couple of times. I wouldn't be putting a lot into it, though. It's still SHIB, It could be a joke for all I know. But the setup looks really good. It's creating a good downsloping channel. That could be a nice setup for a potential break to the upside. Other than that, I haven't looked at any other projects, not sure what else you want to get into. But, I think Solana might be interesting. Yeah, you've been watching since the last bull cycle. Yeah, we started in the bear market in 2019. And then we came in and, we kind of left when the market was stagnating. We were not in the bear cycle. We were starting to look for recoveries back in May of last year, right? We started to look sideways and started to move up. But, yeah, I was just getting to be a little bit too much, and I was feeling really fed up, and I just wasn't enjoying it too much. So I really, really needed that break to come back in fresh. and it just took a while, but we're back, and that's good. And like I said, I'm taking it at a slower pace. And right now, all I'm doing is just coming in 4 days a week, and that's it. We might do more days if the markets are going crazy. We might do more days depending on how they're feeling going on from here. But at least for now, it's just a 4-day thing. Not gonna be here on the weekends. Not gonna be here on Wednesdays, right? Yep. With that said, awesome. So can I check COQ? All right. The dailies take a lot of, particularly when the markets are stagnant, they take a lot because you don't have a lot to come in and talk about, right? And we're just a crypto-based channel, and crypto's not doing anything. It's just coming in here and say, yeah, we're not doing anything. It's just kind of like repetitive, and there's really nothing else going on, right? So when the markets are going wild, it's really interesting because at least there's more things to talk about. We can look at other projects. We can look at many things going on. Man, I really wish I could look at that project. If I don't have it open, I'm not gonna be able to. I already run up all my list on TradingView, and I haven't removed many things, but I don't think I have that. On the C's, I only have Comp and Cody. That's it. Haven't really been finished clearing up the list for me to take a new request. I'm still trying to figure out what else I want to keep here and what else I want to keep on removing. Reason is whatever I delete is going to lose all the information that it has, and some projects have good stuff there, right? Sand, I think, was doing good. Maybe not this Sand, but Sand in general, I think, was doing good. Or should be doing good. I'm not sure if this is Sand I'm looking for. No, this is Sand shorting. So we're going to get rid of this one. See how it says 3 times short? We're going to get rid of that. I don't like that. So that's another one that we just removed. But Sand, I think, could be an interesting setup, right? Let's go to look at Sand. Here we go. All right, so Sand's taking quite a dip. Not looking as good as, the other projects. But we're going to see this real quick. So we had bearishness, right? Then we had the bullishness that we've talked about. Getting that small pop. And then we're getting some bearishness on the smaller time scale. So I already looked at this the other day. And, like, this project, it has good utility. There's a game around it. There's an environment. There's, like, things that are being done with it on a daily basis. That's why I like Sand, right? A lot of people are into it. Snoop Dogg, Adidas, Nike. A lot of people bought land on Sand. And that is part of the reason that I think this project could do good, right? Because it has a use case. It has a game going on around it. It has an environment and an ecosystem, and a lot of people that are invested in it, not just purchasing and selling the asset, but doing things here, man. Is it going to allow me to do that? Yep, barely. All right, so we have bullish divergence strong against the MACD and the RSI as well, right? So this should be looking for a movement up. By the way, this is a 4-hour. So Sand on the 4-hour, I'm bullish, right? There's nothing bearish overhead. So this could be looking for that nice movement up. Let's go to the 1-hour real quick, and then we'll end up with the daily. So we'll go backwards here on Sand. All right, so there we go. So bearish divergence, right? Hidden. Action and downside, getting that movement down. So we talked about this one. When was this? On Friday. So we looked at this on Friday. Not bad. All right, so we were looking for that move. It's still there, still moving us down. Now we're looking for this move, right? Look. The thing is, there's an island I'm going to ignore here for this, and it's this tiny, tiny island. This small break. It just looks to be like an insignificant break. That's just 2 bars, so I'm choosing to ignore it. And this would lead me to believe that the market is looking for some movement up. And again, we also have that same thing going on from here to here, right? That bullishness. Again, with that potential fraction to the upside, we could be looking for Sand to also move up, just like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest, by doing the bullish divergence on the same time scale. So it just basically lets us know that Sand is following the rest of the market. Again, it has the bearish divergence strong, so on the daily, we're still going bearish, right, for the main call. However, it's also starting to develop that hidden bullish that the rest of the market had, right? So going from like here, if you want here, whatever, it's just one island to the next. Going from here to here, and again, it's going from the low point here to that high point there, right? So again, divergence is hidden. It's there. It's hidden bullish. Should be getting us continuation. For this, I would be expecting more of like a sideways motion to start developing with this, because we're seeing it across crypto. So maybe start to stagnate around this level, before we actually see some kind of movement. or takeoff. Unfortunately, there's no strong bullish, man. Right? It's just hitting bullish all over the place for the dailies. That's not looking hot. And the reason it's not looking hot is because we're not creating anything that's going to help us run. Now, how do we create that bullish? Well, just by doing what I was saying. Right? We get this to pop a little bit, maybe stagnate here. Right? That's going to have this go down. Then we get a small pop. We create some positive momentum. Then we drop. Right? We come slightly lower. Right? Then we have that strong bullish. Developing. And then we look for that nice movement that we want to get, right? So that's how I think we could get to that strong bullish, right? Once we have strong bullish, then hey, the whole thing becomes different, and we're looking for movements up, right? Alrighty. I think that's it for the projects, guys. So we're gonna be calling in a stream for tonight. We'll be here tomorrow. Don't worry, panic not. We shall be here again. Streams brought to you by the Bears. Crying tonight, going to sleep, crying because Bitcoin's tanking. Sorry, the Bulls crying tonight because the market's going down, right? So, again, streams are not sponsored by anyone. I just kid when I said that. I really wish we were sponsored by someone, but not think that would change or turn us biased into anything, right? Anyways, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching. Again, if you enjoyed the content, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the sub. Join us on the Discord. That's it for tonight. I'll be here tomorrow. Peace out.